Leader 1 is ready for some more aerial combat in today's game, Time Pilot, for your Atari 2600 VCS. Let's go ahead and take Time Pilot, pop it in my Atari 7800 Pro system, and see how it holds up today. Let's go to the game. Time Pilot was published by Calico and carries a copyright year of 1983. It is based on the 1982 arcade game by Konami. Time Pilot is a shooter for 1 or 2 players alternating and has 3 modes of difficulty. You select the number of players and the game difficulty you want with the difficulty switches. When both difficulty switches are in the B position, you get a single player game on skill level 1, which is the easiest skill level. When the left switch is in the B position and the right is in the A position, you get a 1-player game on skill level 2. When the left switch is in the A position and the right switch is in the B position, you get a single player game at skill level 3, which is the hardest difficulty. When both switches are in the A position, you get a 2-player alternating game at skill level 3. So the only way to play a 2-player game is at the highest difficulty setting. According to the manual, you are caught in a time warp, and now you must battle ruthless enemy aircraft from the dawn of aviation all the way to the future. In the game, you use a joystick to direct your time ship and the button to fire bullets. Your time ship will go in the direction your joystick is pressed, but sometimes it takes a little while to turn when changing directions. When you fire, you'll release 2 close bullets at a time, and if you press fire again, the bullets you previously fired will disappear if they haven't hit anything. So in order to hit a long-range target, you need to wait for your bullets to collide, or else you'll lose them if you try to fire again. In each level, you must destroy a certain number of minor enemies before the main enemy appears. On the bottom of the screen is an indicator showing you how many minor enemies you have to destroy, with each symbol representing 4 enemies. The higher the difficulty, the more enemies you will have to destroy. Once you destroy enough of the minor enemies, the main enemy of that level will appear. If you destroy him, you will warp to the next time zone. You start in the year 1910, where you must destroy biplanes until the dirigible shows up. Next, you go to the year 1940, fighting monoplanes until a heavy bomber appears. Then you go to 1970, fighting helicopters until the double prop helicopter appears. And then you go to 1983, fighting high-speed jets until the big jet bomber appears. And then finally you go all the way into the future to the year 2001, where you must fight flying saucers until the saucer carrier appears. If you defeat the saucer carrier, the game loops back to the beginning at a higher difficulty. Scoring wise, according to the manual, you get 100 points for every minor enemy you destroy, and 3,000 points for destroying the main enemy of the level. You start the game with 5 ships, and at 10,000 points you earn a replacement time ship as long as you've lost at least 1 ship before reaching 10,000 points. Graphically speaking, I thought the game was pretty good overall, with enemies that were easy to recognize and backgrounds that changed with each time period. I thought the sounds were also pretty decent. Family friendly wise, if the game was released today, I assumed that it would get an E for everyone rating. At the time I researched on eBay, including shipping, loose copies were selling for $13 to $22. So what did I think of Time Pilot on the 2600? Technically speaking, this is an impressive arcade port for the system. The fact that you can freely fly around is pretty unique on the system, and the graphics and sounds were pretty good too. However, I never felt 100% comfortable flying the plane. I think it would have been better if you simply used left or right to steer the nose of your plane likewise. Also, hitting the enemies can be quite frustrating at times. There were several times when I shot at an enemy and barely missed it. You have to be lined up perfectly, and I mean perfectly, in order to hit one. And whenever you turn, it affects your shot, so you can actually steer your shots into or away from the enemies, usually on accident. Overall, this was mildly enjoyable as a game, but there are definitely other games on 2600 which control better and are more enjoyable to me. So where am I going to rank Time Pilot? Somewhere in the 70s. I like Space Attack more at 77, but I would rather play Time Pilot than Carnival at 78. So out of the 128 games I've now ranked on 2600, Time Pilot is time warping into the 78 position. Time Pilot can be tough to control, but is technically impressive and offers some enjoyment. So what do you think of the game? Whether you agree or disagree with me, feel free to let me know in the comments below. Also, feel free to click the like and subscribe buttons and follow me both on the Facebook or the Twitter. And I'm a member of the Retro Junkies Network. At this time, I'd like to thank Isaac S. for supporting the show at patreon.com/NoSoreGamer. Thank you, Isaac. Thank you for giving me a little part of your day, and I look forward to seeing you next time on the next episode of the No Swear Gamer. Take care and prepare yourself for the future of 2001.